Mobile service is really just the first thing that we're putting through this platform. What this platform is a couple of very simple yet profound things, we believe. One, it is a means to very easily and simply onboard people into the system. And it's starting out with mobile service, but it could be a bunch of, we might be selling energy tomorrow. We could be selling offers and promotions like they do at Groupon. But it's how do you get people into the experience quite simply and easily? And do it online. Do it such that someone can come to a site or someone can be directed to a site by somebody and very simply get into the experience. Sign up, provide some information, and boom, you're in. That's the first part that we've been working hard on. But really, once you get into the experience, that's really where the magic starts to happen, because what we've built is we've actually built 3 companies and 3 platforms that we've combined, and we're really the first ones on the planet to combine these things. That's a whole mobile virtual network operator, so that's a whole mobile service in and of itself. That's your $49 unlimited voice, text, and data service. That is everything kind of which we're focused on right now as our first product. That in and of itself usually takes about 18 to 24 months and $10 to $20 million worth of investment to build in and of itself. So we built that. Then we went and we built our own social network. So we basically built everything that Twitter is and half of what Facebook is on our own platform. And we did that because we really wanted the Solavei community to have its own voice, to have its own level of engagement, and to have its own level of interaction outside and apart from the social networks. And then the third thing we built was a whole commerce platform. So we have now, when you come into the experience, you'll be able to interact with the other members of the community, the other members of your network, and then you'll also be able to, based upon your activities, you will directly see reward from those activities. So if you bring in more members, they consume more services, whether they are doing offers and promotions or whether they're buying energy or whether they're buying mobile service, the system will track what those activities are, and you will be directly rewarded and compensated for those activities. And not only have we just built the platform to allow those transactions to take place and to monitor those transactions, we've also built a platform that on a real-time basis we see what's happening and we inform and motivate everyone within the network. So as soon as you go and do something, as soon as someone comes in and signs up and says, hey, I want to get mobile service, great. Automatically, we see that happen in the system. We see that you're the one who recommended them, that you've been connected to them as their sponsor. And boom, we pop you up a little notification saying, hey, congratulations, this new dude just joined. Great. You reach out, you're like, hey, welcome. Let's figure this out. Let's go do some stuff. But the key point being that the system tracks all that, and then the system helps to inform and then motivate everyone to go take the next action. And it's really nothing like this has ever really been built before. And as you put together these 3 worlds of the mobile world, the social world, and the commerce world on one platform, that's when you really see it start to come to light, where this is something that is quite practical and easy to do. We think this is something that, both on the web and on your mobile device, that this is something that's fun and engaging and rewarding. And we think people will be playing Solavei more than they play Angry Birds today. Except the difference is Angry Birds, all that does is wear down your battery and drain your eyes, whereas Solavei is actually going to put money in your pocket. So, our intention is to deliver an experience that really is engaging and interesting and compelling, and from there, really start rewarding folks. And I think the last part of this, from a platform standpoint, is what we'll be able to do in terms of easily allowing folks to connect up to their existing networks. So we're going to have a whole thing called Outreach Manager, which will allow you to go and to send your emails and to send your Facebook posts and your tweets, and then very easily be able to track what's happening with all that activity as people come back in and take a look at the Solavei network and they decide to join, and how we connect you back up again, and basically close the loop so that you can reach outbound with your existing relationships, bring folks into the Solavei community, and then continue to benefit, and then basically, it's like shampooing, it's just like rinse and repeat, just do it over and over again. And the net of this is that we think that we can fundamentally change a few major industries. One, the whole concept of advertising has kind of had its day. We think most advertising is a waste of money, and we think that this means to go and directly distribute things through relationships is the future, and the future in a big way. And we think that there's a lot of stuff we can put through this distribution channel. The second key industry is the mobile industry. There's a lot of waste in mobile today. There's a lot of people paying way too much money and not getting enough benefit, and we think we can just, roll over a lot of what's happening there and really offer a very distinct and high-value service. And the third industry we think we can fundamentally change is the whole consumer internet. Why the likes of, a few executives in Facebook and a few executives in the likes of Groupon, making billions of dollars where everyone else is just a user and being used. So, and that's where we come up with our concept of creating, millions of thousandaires. We want to take that money and just hand it back out, kind of like Robin Hood, I guess. But there's a tremendous amount of money and value creation that is sitting in a few people's hands today. And what we're intending to do is hand that back over to the folks who actually create it, the folks who actually produce the value. And through that, we think that we can create a very new fundamental dynamic of how business gets done and how value gets exchanged. And can really actually act as a watershed for a lot of change in behavior across these industries, and benefit from it, right? Being the first ones to do it, and our members, especially our early members, are going to absolutely benefit from it. You should always be able to be prepared for your maximum potential, right? Because I never want the platform to get in the way of our growth. At the same time, I need to be prudent, and I don't want to go overbuild too quickly, right? So you always need to deal with a range, which is what you think is the minimum, what you think is the maximum potential in something like this, and then you bound it by time. And it's funny when we were looking and we're doing some performance tests recently, and I'm telling my team, look, I need this platform to be ready to handle 10 million members. And they're like, well, in what time range? And I'm like, that's not necessarily the important point. I need to know that we have an architecture that can handle 10 million members. And it might be 10 million members in 6 months. It might be 10 million members in 12 months. But I need you to run those tests to see if we can do it for 10 million members. And then they're like, okay. So then we've been doing those tests, and the platform's been performing quite well. Then it's okay, so what's the initial build? And our initial build in every one of the elements that we're putting together here, our bottom line build, we're already putting in force and starting to pay bills against in terms of capacity. Day one is 1 million members. So, we have this is not a small plan, and our intent is quite significant. Now, how quickly we get there and how quickly we get through that and what scale looks like, a lot of people with a lot of different thoughts on that. But the way I like to look at it is this. We get to 1 million members in a reasonable period of time, let's call it, the end of the year or even to the first part of next year, we will be the fastest growing company in the history of mankind. We will reach $1 billion by the end of $1 billion in revenue by the end of the first quarter 2013. We will have reached $1 billion within like 14 to 16 months from incorporation, and it took Groupon 22 months. So we will already then hold the mantle of being the fastest growing company in the history of mankind. We'll be the Usain Bolt of business. And then it's just a matter of where do we go from there, right? So I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking past that. I just know I got a platform that can handle it, and I fully expect we will be the fastest growing company in the history of mankind.